Welcome back to Klepper's Corner, today in history, where we unwrap the past like it's a Christmas present. Except instead of socks from your aunt, it's usually a surprise empire, a shattered monarchy, or a guy discovering a comet and saying, yep, that's probably coming back in 76 years. See you nerds later. December 25th isn't just a holiday. It's the world's most chaotic group chat where history keeps sending messages at 3 a.m. Like any good group chat, half the people involved are trying to take credit for something, and the other half are trying to pretend they weren't involved at all. So today, we're diving into the long, occasionally holy, occasionally horrifying timeline of Christmas Day events. Coronations, collapses, comets, revolutions, space missions, and the birth of the guy who invented calculus because he apparently woke up one day and said, "Gravity, I'm going to explain that." Let's begin. Segment 1, Clovis, Charlemagne, and the birth of Christmas Power Hour. There was a period of European history where December 25th wasn't about opening gifts. It was about opening kingdoms. Clovis gets baptized, Charlemagne gets crowned emperor, and suddenly the papacy is essentially running a holiday special. Become legit on Christmas Day, limited time offer, free holy oil while supplies last. Clovis dives into the baptismal font at Rheims and brings 3,000 of his friends with him like it's the original Black Friday doorbuster. Then Charlemagne shows up in 800 CE, kneels to pray, and Leo III pulls a surprise coronation like it's a prank YouTube channel. Charlemagne says he didn't know it would happen, which feels like the medieval version of "I'm shocked to find gambling going on here." Except the gambling was, "Congratulations, you run Europe now." And of course, the Pope's like, "This is fine, this is holy, this is definitely not me trying to fix my political problems by stapling a crown onto the one tall guy who can keep me alive." It's the true Christmas spirit, giving yourself an emperor. Segment 2, William the Conqueror lights up Christmas, literally. Jump to 1066, when William the Conqueror decides to cap off his whole invade England thing by getting crowned king on December 25th. And nothing says new administration like a coronation ceremony that triggers mass panic, knights setting houses on fire, and everyone running out of Westminster Abbey like the world's worst Black Friday crowd. You can imagine William standing at the altar thinking, wow, is this normal? Are English coronations always this smoky? It's the only coronation in history where the candles weren't the only things burning. A very festive start to Norman rule. Peace on earth and goodwill toward, okay, maybe next year. Segment 3, Baldwin I and the Crusader Christmas Special. In 1100, Baldwin I decides the Crusader states need less spirituality and more monarchy. His brother Godfrey refused to wear a crown in Jerusalem. Baldwin said, "Hold my holy land," and picked Christmas Day in Bethlehem to finally put a crown on his head. That's right, the guy becomes king of Jerusalem, not in Jerusalem. It's like getting sworn in as mayor of Boston in Cleveland. But on Christmas Day, symbolism is 90% of the job, especially if you're founding a kingdom and trying to pretend you didn't technically take it from people who already live there. Segment 4, Columbus invents the world's worst cruise line. Christopher Columbus wrecks the Santa Maria on Christmas because he fell asleep, and the cabin boy was apparently the first ever intern to steer a ship. He builds the first colony, La Navidad, which becomes a disaster faster than your uncle's political rants at Christmas dinner. Columbus sails back the next year to discover his entire settlement is gone. Turns out, if you mistreat the people who live there, they don't send you a fruitcake, they send you consequences. It's the historical equivalent of leaving someone in charge of your house, coming home, and the house is just a suggestion of where a house once was. Segment 5, Newton, calendars, and a comet that kept receipts. Isaac Newton is born on December 25th, old style, which really cements him as the kid who grows up to explain the entire universe while everyone else is just trying to remember what day it is. He's born so small, he supposedly fit in a quart pot. That's not a baby, that's a fun-sized physicist. Then Halley's Comet swings in on Christmas 1758, the first comet predicted by science. Edmund Halley basically says this icy space rock will return in 76 years. And it does, like a cosmic RSVP. Meanwhile, astrology collapses in the corner, whispering, "This is my whole gig." Nothing says Christmas like gravity and orbital mechanics. Segment 6. Washington crosses the Delaware like a frostbitten action hero. Washington's army is cold, starving, and running out of time. So naturally, he plans a daring nighttime crossing of a frozen river on Christmas. Honestly, this feels less like military strategy and more like something written by a screenwriter who keeps saying, "Raise the stakes! More ice! More danger!" The Hessians weren't drunk, they were exhausted. Washington wasn't magically blessed, he was desperate. And somehow, the whole operation works. This is the Christmas miracle you don't hear in carols. "O come, all ye freezing crossing in a nor'easter." Trenton becomes the victory that keeps the revolution alive. Imagine losing your war because the other guy had better boats and better timing. Segment 7. Christmas peace, Christmas war, Christmas nuclear reactor. December 25th has a vibe problem. One year it's Silent Night, literally, as British and German soldiers stop World War I long enough to exchange snacks and play bootleg soccer. The next year, another war gives us Black Christmas in Hong Kong. Then in 1946, the Soviets build a nuclear reactor on Christmas Day. Because nothing says holiday warmth like a graphite pile reaching criticality. Santa delivers toys, the USSR delivers fission. Christmas contains multitudes. It's complicated. Hallmark hasn't figured out how to market this one. Segment 8. Christmas ends communism twice. Nicolae Ceausescu, the dictator who thought he could outrun his own population, learns that when the people boo you off a balcony, that's not a great sign. By Christmas, he's gone. Romania hits the end dictatorship button, and history speedruns regime change. Then 1991 comes around, and the Soviet flag lowers from the Kremlin for the very last time on, yes, Christmas Day. Not a creature was stirring except 15 newly independent republics. Santa didn't bring presents that year, he brought geopolitics. Segment 9. Apollo 8 orbits the moon and wishes Earth a Merry Crisis. 1968 had assassinations, riots, war, chaos, and then, somehow, it ends with 3 astronauts looping the moon, reading Genesis, taking the Earthrise photo, and telling NASA there is a Santa Claus. They burn the engine on the far side of the moon, while Mission Control literally can't hear them. That's the space version of texting someone after jumping off a cliff and saying, "Don't worry, I'll text you when gravity turns back on." Apollo 8 gave us a moment of peace, a cosmic Christmas card that said, "Hey Earth, try not to destroy yourselves before we get back." Segment 10. The Internet, a telescope, and the Queen's annual broadcast. By Christmas 1990, Tim Berners-Lee launches the pilot version of the World Wide Web. The first website goes live, probably loading slower than a CVS receipt prints. And just like that, Christmas becomes the birthday of both Newton and the thing that ruined office productivity forever. Then, in 2021, the James Webb Space Telescope launches on Christmas morning to peer into the origins of the universe. A telescope more expensive than your entire childhood combined. Its job? Look back 13 billion years and say, yep, lots of stars. And through it all, the British monarch delivers the royal Christmas message every year, the world's longest-running holiday special. It's the only tradition where the speech stays the same, but the hats keep getting louder. In conclusion, December 25th is not just a day. It's a cosmic, geopolitical, scientific, occasionally disastrous festival of humanity trying very hard to make meaning out of winter. It is coronations and collapses, revolutions and revelations, baptisms and bombshells, comets and cameras, crossings and collapses of empires. It's a reminder that even on the quietest day of the year, history does not sleep. Apparently because it drank too much eggnog. And so this holiday season, remember, if you feel like your family gathering is chaotic, at least no one is being crowned emperor, invading New Jersey, predicting a comet, dismantling an empire, launching a telescope, or inventing calculus before dessert. At least, I hope not.